afternoon, good evening, students. I hope you're doing good. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're back with another lecture concerning literature. As you can see, it will be about the same book entitled Hard Times, written by Charles Dickens. In the previous video, we have seen the summary of the first 4 chapters. In today's video, which means the second part, we are going to see the summary of the 5th, 6th, 7th, and the 8th chapter. But before I start, as usual, I invite you to like the Facebook page of this channel in order to be notified whenever I post something new, and also subscribe to my channel if it's not already done. That would encourage me to do more and also help you out during the period of exams. Anyways, before I start with the 5th chapter, we need to make a link between the previous chapters and the new ones. So in the previous video, at the end, I said that the boys, or the children, Tom and Louisa, they were spying on the people in the circus, and Mr. Gradgrind got furious. He was very furious because that was against his teachings. Then he decided to take them home, and along the way he was repeating what would Mr. Bounderby say. Then we talked about Mr. Bounderby, who was in the living room of Mr. Gradgrind, who was also talking to Mrs. Gradgrind. He was talking to her about his poor childhood, and then Mr. Gradgrind entered with the kids and he told Mr. Bounderby what happened. Anyways, Mr. Bounderby theorized that there was a girl in the school who might have influenced Louisa with that kind of thought, such as curiosity and also wondering and so on and so forth. We are going to see that randomly during the story. Anyways, so we stopped there when they decided to go to see the father of Cecilia, or Sissy Jupe, to tell him that his daughter is no longer accepted in the school. And before they left, Mr. Bounderby demanded a kiss from Louisa. Anyways, they left the house and they went to find Sissy's father. So when they went to find Sissy's father, they had to go through the dark, smoking city of Coketown. The city of Coketown is basically, when they were walking, we can notice that there was identical buildings, shapes, and even smells. Then they met Sissy. They saw this girl, Cecilia, or Sissy Jupe, who was being bullied and chased by Bitzer. Bitzer, if you remember, is the guy who answered Mr. Gradgrind in the school. He's the one who defined horse as cold as possible, if I may say. So she was out. Why? Before we carry on, we should know that why was Sissy Jupe alone in the streets? So there was a reason. She was out buying oil for her father's aches and pains, because, like I said, the father of Sissy Jupe, worked as a circus entertainer. He used to ride horses in order to entertain people, and that kind of job gives a person aches and pains. So she was bullied, she was being chased by this Bitzer, and she stopped at an inn. So Bounderby and Gradgrind followed her to that inn. The inn is like a bar where people gather, eat, drink, and all takes a rest generally. So Bounderby and Gradgrind followed her to an inn. That kind of inn was quite special because the circus performers dwelled there. So they found the master of the circus, Mr. Sleary, or Slary, maybe Slary, and he tells both of them. He talked to Bounderby and Gradgrind. He told them that Sissy's father could no longer perform, and he abandoned her because he was ashamed. So Gradgrind took Sissy to raise her according to his philosophy, which means he wanted to do the same thing that he has done with his children. Give her only facts, cold facts, and rationality, reasoning, and so on and so forth. Sissy agreed, because she believed that her father would come back one day for her. And then you have those circus performers gathered all together to wish Sissy, to wish Sissy luck in her new life with Mr. Gradgrind. Why did they do so? Because they were like a family to her during her childhood. She lived with them since she was a kid. And Bounderby, then it's another scene. It's another chapter if you want. Bounderby was talking with his housekeeper. He seemed worried about Sissy's influence on Louisa, because Mr. Bounderby believed that she is his future wife. In other words, Mr. Bounderby wanted Louisa to become his wife, and Louisa, just a reminder, is the daughter of Mr. Gradgrind, his friend. So Mr. Gradgrind also tells Sissy that she can keep going to school and care for Mrs. Gradgrind whenever she's free, which means at the beginning he wanted to prevent her from coming back to his school because he thought that she was influencing his daughter Louisa. Then he told her that she can keep going to that school, but whenever she's free, she has to take care of his wife, Mrs. Gradgrind. Later, the same day, if you want, Louisa and Tom felt depressed, and they were talking about Gradgrind's plan to apprentice Tom in Bounderby's bank. So Mr. Gradgrind wanted his son, Tom, to work at Mr. Bounderby's bank. Then Louisa realizes that something was missing in her life. She starts wondering, then her mother warns her not to do that, because according to her it was against the philosophy of facts and the teaching of her father. So that would be it for these chapters. If I may, it's a short summary. It has to give you, let's say, a general idea, and I hope it's clear enough for you to understand these chapters. Anyways, share with your friend. Maybe they will benefit from the video. If you have any kind of question, feel free to ask them in the comments below. Otherwise, I tell you, see you in the next video. Peace.